Ahoy there, me hearties! This be Captain Silver Hook, and you're listening to the Two Old Pirates podcast. Set sail for an open sea of stories, tales, and some really crazy stuff. I expect you to like and subscribe, lest you be walking the plank.
Hello and welcome to podcast 79 of the Two Old Pirates. I'm Eric and I'm back again with another story. Let's put it that way. This story is going to not deal with true crime or anything like that, but it is going to deal with possibly spirits or ghosts. Every single state seems to have their own history of hauntings, ghosts, different things like that. It can be folklore. It can be just things passed down from generation to generation. Up in Massachusetts, where I'm from, you have the Salem witch trials in Salem, Massachusetts. You have voodoo in New Orleans. You have different, ghosts and goblins and whatever. But we have one right here in Texas. We have many. We have one that never seems to fade away. Every single generation seems to know about it and know somebody who has experienced it. And that's the thing. I've been teaching. This is my 26th year. I'll be ending this week, 26 years of teaching. And during that time, I've had numerous students, whenever this topic has come up, say, oh, I know somebody that happened to them. They saw that. It occurred to them. All these different things. So it's something that is widespread, well-known, and it's only about 2.5 hours drive from where I'm at right now in Corpus Christi. So this is the tale of the haunted railroad tracks of San Antonio, Texas. So here we go. Way back in the 1930s, a story came out of San Antonio that at the crossings of Villamain and Shane Roads, there's a railroad track. And on that, people believe to this day that there are ghosts that are there waiting for you. What happened is, in the 1930s, at that crossing, the story goes that there was a school bus and it was on its way dropping off kids, and it had to go across the railroad tracks. And as it started going up, remember this is a 1930s, 1920s type bus, it stalled out on top of the railroad tracks. The bus driver tried to go and get it restarted. He couldn't get it restarted. So he started saying, hey, we got to maybe get the kids off the bus. So he started getting some of them off. And before they knew it, coming around the bend was a locomotive, and it was going very, very fast. And the story goes that he dove back into the bus to get the last remaining students out. And the train hit dead center, split the bus in half, and killed 10 children along with the bus driver who died trying to save them. That's one of the stories that you'll hear if you go to San Antonio and you go to Villamain and Shane Road, because people come there from all over the world. They've all heard this ghost story. It's not people just here in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, places like that. We're talking about all over the world have come here. The second story, which seems to be more rooted in the possibility, is that around the late 1930s again, around the same time, that a nun from a local parochial school was driving the bus back to the school at night. I guess maybe it was during the winter hours and it was a little dark and they'd gone somewhere. But the whole point of it is that it also stalled out on the tracks. And a train that was coming, and back then their headlights were not electronic. They had a flame in it. So the headlight had burnt out. So in the pitch dark, you're sitting with this bus on the tracks, and you don't really see or hear anything until it's a little bit too late. And it hit, and when it hit the school bus, it sent her flying through the windshield, and she, was really, really messed up, beat up by it, but it killed all the kids. So all the kids that she was in charge of at this Catholic school were killed instantly, and she's the only one to survive. And they said that after she healed up a little bit, one day she just took one of the church cars and she drove out there at night and parked on the tracks and was going to wait for the next train to come by to kill her. She saw the train coming. She heard the noise of it. She knew it was coming. It blew its horn. And she knew, this is it. I'm going to be with the children again. I'm going to die. And just as she felt that feeling that it was over, she felt the car start to move. And it moved all the way off the tracks just in time as the train came barreling through, honking at her, like, what were you doing? Are you crazy? She couldn't believe it. She was supposed to die. She said she got out, and she was, of course, completely mystified and taken aback. And she went ahead and she went around the back of the car, and she could see tiny handprints where it looked like children had been up against the car pushing it. So the story goes that if you go to Villemain and Shane Road and you park on the tracks, the children that died in these stories, their ghosts come to save you, and they'll push you off the tracks. The easiest way, they said, to do it is go and sprinkle some baby powder on the trunk. That way, when they push you, their little finger indentions will be there. Another thing is to spray a certain type of chemical on the trunk after you've been pushed off, and it'll show the handprints, you know, if you have a clean car and it's not dirty or anything like that. To this day, people come from all over, and they sit there on the railroad tracks, and you will meet somebody somewhere that says that they know somebody that was pushed off the tracks, and that the children that died saved, or you know, were there to save them. They were like, you know, they were angels, and they're trying to protect you. You'll feel the car move. If it's true, I don't know. There's plenty of people from around the world that have come to San Antonio to test this out. The railroad tracks are still there. The streets are still there. You can go up there and try it if you want to. Just look up Villemain and Shane Road and drive up there if you want. Go try it out. You know, comment if you've ever heard of this story before. Comment. The problem with this whole thing is historically there's no records of a train wreck with a school bus or any other type of bus at any time near there in San Antonio. So the stories are more likely just folklore that's been passed down. People have researched this for years, and in no reporting back then in any newspaper was there ever any story of this ever happening. The closest anything like this ever happened, I think, was in Colorado or Missouri or something like that, and a school bus was hit and some children died. But how did that make it to San Antonio? And how is it unique to only San Antonio? You don't really hear about these ghosts on the tracks in a lot of different places. And this has been going on for decades. I remember hearing about it as a kid, you know, 30 years ago. So this stuff has been around for a very, very long time. So are there ghosts? Are there children that help you by pushing you off? Some people swear yes. Some people say no. And there is no historical proof, so it all depends on what you believe. But if you know anything about this story, please comment. Please let me know if you enjoyed this or not. This is another short episode. I just want to go ahead and keep this thing going and climb towards 100 episodes. I hope that you guys will all share. If you're not subscribed, log into your YouTube, hit subscribe, become part of it. We have, you know, we're going on 700 subscribers, and there's it's about 80% of the people that watch our videos never subscribed. So try to subscribe. Let's get to 700, all right? Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this short story about the ghosts of San Antonio and the railroad tracks. For the Tool Pirates, this is Eric. Love you. Peace.